Welcome to Abu Dhabi Shipbuilding. Adsb specializes in the construction, repair and refit of naval, military and commercial vessels. Your safety is important to us, and in this video we'll give you a complete guide of health and safety during your visit to the facility. Please watch this video carefully. The purpose of this occupational HSE video orientation is to develop an effective HSE management system and to give awareness to all the visitors about the workplace hazards and Adsb's HSE requirements, and to comply with UAE and other international standards, and also for our necessary documentation. The objective of this video is to prevent losses and environmental impacts at the workplace, and to provide adequate equipments and tools, training and necessary personal protective equipments. Control the hazard and risk, thus preventing accidents, incidents and occupational illnesses for Adsb staff, customers, visitors and subcontractors. Employees are responsible to take reasonable care of the health and safety and environment for himself and of others who may be affected by what they do or do not do. Cooperate with the employer on health and safety matters and not misuse any equipment that's provided for safety purposes. Employees are also responsible to report any near miss, unsafe act, unsafe condition and incidents. They can report near miss or any other incident by filling the SAF 002 form, which is available in HSE department. An accident is an incident which has given rise to injury, ill health, fatality or property damage. Adsb take fire and safety duties very seriously. We have formulated this policy to help us comply with our legal obligations to staff and visitors under Adsb fire safety policies. You can find paths to safety and environmental procedures. Our priority at all times is the safety of individuals, training and necessary personal protective equipment. Safety signs and symbols are important safety communicating tools. They help to indicate various hazards that present in plant site or workplace. At the same time, they warn workers to always keep watching out for those hazards by giving required information and safety instructions. Please observe these safety signs and symbols to avoid any incident. Safety tags are also very important to ensure safety of employees and visitors. Danger and caution tags are used to tag out equipment and components, and scaff tags are being used on scaffolding to show whether it's safe to be used or not safe. Only scaffolders are authorized to perform scaffolding erection, modification and dismantling. Before climbing a scaffold, you should ensure scaff tag is green. Do not use the scaffold if it's red. PPE is the last resort to control the risk in hierarchy control of hazard. The minimum PPEs required to work in yard are hard hat, safety shoe, safety goggles and protective clothing or coverall. Suitable eye protection, for example goggles, face shield and welding visor, should be worn where any hazard presented which can cause eye injury. Wear respiratory protection where required. Other than the basic PPE, you should select the required PPE depending upon the work and environment. Do not avoid your personal protective equipment at any time in Adsb. These pictures are the result of small negligence. Faulty or damaged equipment must be repaired or replaced immediately, or report to the supervisor, foreman or lead men. Equipment should be secured and switched off by all operators during break time, such as lunch. And this is applicable for all operators including subcontractors. Preferred to use environment-friendly tools and equipment. Lifting operations can often put people at great risk of injury. as well as incurring great costs when they go wrong. It's therefore important to properly resource, plan and organise lifting operations so they are carried out in a safe manner. Only riggers are authorised to perform lifting operations. These riggers are properly trained and certified to operate machinery. Do not lift or carry more than SWL, safe working load, and remember, do not stay under any suspended load. Use taglines to control the loads. In incidents related to work at height, workers may fall from a height, resulting in serious injury or death. That's why safety harness and other safety-related instructions are extremely important to follow. Full body harness must be used as a full protection because body weight will be divided to shoulder and thighs. Do not use safety waist belt as full protection. Secure safety harness lanyard on a sound structure above waist level. Good housekeeping is an essential part of safe working area. Poor housekeeping promotes a negative health and safety environment culture. All employees should maintain good housekeeping at their work area. Ensure hoses and cables are not creating a tripping and falling hazard. Do not keep any items at passages, emergency escape routes, and in front of firefighting and other emergency equipments and electrical panel boards. Do not litter waste items. Use proper bins. Smoking can be dangerous at workplace. Smoking is strictly prohibited on the following areas. Never smoke on the bed. Everybody have responsibility to prevent fire to protect life and property. Before dealing with any chemicals, read and understand the MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet. If there's any doubt, ask your supervisor or safety department. Segregation of waste is important for properly disposing of the vast amount of waste workplace produces in an environmentally conscious manner. Different components of waste have very different properties, and grouping them by type allows for proper processing or storage. Work permits are the formal documents specifying the work to be done and the precautions to be taken. The permit provides a clear written record that all foreseeable hazards have been considered and all the necessary actions have been taken. Supervisor or foreman should ensure that required permit has been obtained from safety department before starting any cold hot work. There is also a RADHAZ permit issued by Combat Systems Safety Officer, so do not cross the area mentioned in that permit. There can be radiation on that mentioned area. Confined spaces can be defined as an enclosed area, which is not intended for continuous occupancy with limited access, egress, lighting and oxygen. For example, storage tanks, underground tunnel, ballast tanks and void spaces of vessel. Before entering any confined space, ensure that you have obtained an entry permit or the specific space has a valid entry permit. T-card is a T-shaped card issued by Safety Department to control the entry to a vessel and to account the people on board during an emergency on board a vessel or inside a workshop. T-card must be placed in the rack when you're boarding a vessel or entering a workshop, and remove the card from the rack when you leave the vessel or workshop. Risk assessment should be explained to the workers by the respective supervisor. In case of fire, you should shout, "Fire, fire, fire." Then try to extinguish the fire at the initial stage with suitable firefighting equipment, if you are trained and safe to do so. If you could not control the fire, and proceed to the nearest assembly point. If you're on board or workshop, don't forget to collect your T-card. Inform the main gate by calling emergency number extension 333 025 028 333. Wait for the further instructions from the fire team or safety team. Until then, stay in the assembly points. These are the assembly points. Disciplinary procedure is part of Adsb policy, where violation to Adsb company rules are documented and provided. Following activities are prohibited in yard.